Good morning, everybody. On this Thursday morning, frigid for a lot of people, especially on the East Coast. It's cold as kicking tail from, let's just say, New York to, well, from Maine to Jacksonville, Florida, as a lot of people are expecting snow this weekend, right? But let's just go on this trip real quick, right? When you when you meet somebody, right? For the most part, you would you will see their cool, mild mannered demeanor, full of passion, politeness, kindness, and things like that. Right? Santina, good morning. What's going on, man? So when you meet these people, you have, you know, you will receive them as a friendly person, right? And you know, you know, we say that first impressions are the best impressions. So a lot of the time, they're giving you, no divisiveness, no chaotic scenes, no negative energy. So you see that you would call that friendly batter because that's exactly what friendly means in that term. Somebody that acts kind and polite, a lot of times they give you a respect that a lot of people, may not have earned because sometimes you give it to them as a kind gesture. It's given, right? You give it to them for that specific reason, right? And so I like to think that I'm a friendly person, right? And sometimes in that friendly manner, you may pick up generosity. You may pick up, the willing to do things for the next individual, so on and so forth. Absolutely. Y'all please stay inside this upcoming weekend, right? This is just a friendly gesture as I'm, speaking to you now. Down there, Atlanta, Charlotte, maybe to an extent, uh, Myrtle Beach, and all those areas, you guys may be getting hit with some snow, as the weather report says. And I know a lot of you don't are not used to having these type of weathers. Hopefully, you go and take care of the things that you have to take care of. I know in Atlanta, they will be shutting down government buildings. School will more than likely be out. Excuse me, as they prepare for wintry weather. And you know, they say it is only going to last a day. But when you're not comfortable, when you're not used to something, you're going to have to endure a thing, right? So this is where, friendly gestures come in. I hope you stay safe. I hope you stay warm. Yeah, that's in South Carolina. They may be getting hit with some weather on that front as well. Uh, when you go through those, as you go through those situations, you want the friendly gesture, the friendly advice, the friendly acting person around you. Why? Because you don't know. Your heat might get cut off, or you know, power lines fall down. You might go out, but you might not have any power. Now, the only good thing about this type of weather is if it's cold enough, you can actually leave. You don't need, ice and all of that because the weather is cold enough to endure. Squirrel, Happy New Year. Uh, Good morning. Uh, yeah. So you you want to receive that friendly gesture, right? And in a meeting of a person, when you receive that, you may Chicky, good morning. As you come to a contact with this friendly person, you, the individual, may pick up or read that this person can be a friend. Uh, so we all know what a friend is, right? A friend is someone that you consider to be a person considerate in your life, right? Not an associate, but a friend. Friend, friends have many different meanings. A person with whom you know and whom one has a bond with. You have this, like, you're like minded. You have, the same type of feelings towards one another. You know, uh, someone that you may have or may want to befriend because of the of the initial meeting, and they were so friendly to you that you know you you have now added expectations to a person because they were so friendly in the first meeting. Okay, now we have all gone through these situations. We have all met people, whether it's you know off the app or uh, on the app, right? I've met a lot of people that young Riaz, good afternoon. How are you? Hope all is well. Right. So you have met people on here, and I have as well. And you know, I met people whether it was through a chat or however, or I prayed for them in a chat, or sent kind gestures. Right. So a lot of people receive. Hopefully, they receive me as being friendly. Now, there are some that may consider me a friend, and I truly, genuinely value that concept of being somebody's friend, right? But when you put somebody in that category of friendship, a lot of things come with it, right? You you would expect them to, be cordial with you, to check and say how you doing when you see them, right? Those are all friendly gestures, but becoming a friend means a little bit more than that, right? Becoming a friend means, you know, there's a thing, when your chips is down, you may need somebody to talk to. You will reach out to said friend, right? I'm going through A, B, and C, and you want that friend to continue the friendly gestures, lending you a friendly ear, uh, respecting the concept of one-on-one conversation, keeping it where you would like it to be kept, whether it's in privately, or you know you do friendly gestures. Hey, I need somebody with information on building a home, on how to raise a child, or whatever the conversation may be, right? But being friendly is the bridge to becoming a friend, right? We can all agree, hopefully, we can all agree to that. Because if you don't have that friendly attribute, how could somebody consider you a friend, right? But I think that we put so little into a friendship, right? That we transform it into a thing like you're just an associate, like we have business. A friendship is a job. We can say that it's a job. We also have to agree that it's more than just, something that needs to be worked on, because that's what a job is. Job equals work. But what does the friendship need? It needs respect. It needs, you know, a is it needs a joint contract. The joint contract is, you know, I'll respect you, you respect me. You know, I can trust you, you can trust me. Uh, uh, you know, and sometimes even in that business manner, we can it can elevate into a top notch business, right? But we can also elevate the friendship, right? We can we can elevate the friendship to become quote unquote a bestie, right? What is a bestie? A best friend. What is a best friend? Someone that you can confide in and truly believe that they will never cause you any harm. You can turn to this person in your darkest hour, right? But a lot of us think we don't have darkest hours. A lot of us, a lot of us we mishandle things and situations, and sometimes we mishandle being a friend, right? What do I mean? We mishandle being a friend, right? So if I turn, if young Riaz turns to me and has a conversation about what's going on with him, right? And it's something that I know he wouldn't want to get out. And then I let it out, right? I have just become a rival, an enemy to a person that truly wanted a friendship. I mis I misappropriated my friendliness, being friendly, and then weaponized it towards somebody. Or here's another example, right? Somebody uh who's here. So Santina, she has I tell Santina something's going on in my life. And she turns around and tells Scorpio that whatever's going on in my life, right? But I told her this in the strictest form of privacy because I wanted my friend to know what I'm going through and or ask for advice. She has just broken the contract, right? People have to understand that marriage, I mean, excuse me, friendships, just like a marriage, it takes work. You have to work at it. We give things titles so loosely and people get upset because of the looseness of the relationship that we have just formed, right? Like I work hard to show people that I will be there for them. I work hard to show people that I can be a friend to them and for them, right? And for people to turn around and think that I would poo-poo this relationship, or if people, misuse the friendship, right? They only want the friendliness, but don't want to be a friend. That is an incompletion of a friend, right? When you are friendly, you must complete the changeover to becoming a friend. What is the point of being friendly if you don't want to be a friend, right? If you're not showing friendship qualities, what is the point of being friendly? Why not just continue to be a fool, a hole, or anything of it? A lot of us have the friendly qualities and don't understand, how to make the connection to become a friend. Or some people just want the friendliness and will kill the friendship because it allows your kindness to become your weakness. Some people don't know how to, and that's the problem right there, Chicky. right? We throw these terms and the misuse of a word. We have all we have all been culpable of misusing words, right? Like everybody's your friend. Everybody cannot be your friend because they don't have that friendly attribute. And one of those attributes that I believe, because this is my opinion, this is my truth, which is my opinion. It's funny to say. We'll have that conversation later, right? One of the things that we don't have in a lot of these quote unquote friendships is love, right? What do you mean love? You can love somebody as a friend, right? You can have the love of a friend to where it would be called platonic, right? Because you're not pushing it to a next level, especially when it's friendly, male on male, female on female. You just want to build that bond of a friendship. And most of the time, we're not adding that main ingredient of love, right? So now there's just it's a bland taste to a friendship, right? Or we add so much uh, 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 trauma into the friendship that we don't know how to add that ingredient of love, right? Santina says, how about you being a friend to someone for so long and that friend turned around and hurt you in the worst way possible? Then ask for forgiveness. What do you do then? You forgive that person? Santina, I think you can forgive somebody. You can forgive somebody if they have hurt you. Forgiveness is for you and not for them, right? When you forgive the person, they no longer they no longer have that hold on you. That memory should not be the memory of that pain that they caused you should no longer it or cannot be no longer weaponized within your mind. It should not be because once you forgive it, it allows that thought to be removed from your memory bank, right? Uh, you you have the opportunity to continue to be who you were within the friendship, right? It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you to forgive somebody. It doesn't mean that you are a weak person when you forgive somebody. And that is something that a lot of us have been told when we go through this type of situation, like, ooh, child, I wouldn't have forgave that heifer for nothing. You know what she did, you know what Jane did, or Becky Sue did, or whomever. Yeah, but you know what I need? I need a peace of mind to get away from that situation. I need peace in my life to where there's something else that I need to work on that this no longer is a problem and is weighing heavily on my mind and my heart, right? But because people just want the friendliness of a person, it may be because they don't know how to be a friend, like Chicky said. Because everybody, like Chicky says, everybody don't mesh well, right? And it's okay if you don't rock with everybody, right? But that doesn't take from you being a friend to somebody else. It doesn't assassinate your character if it doesn't work well between two people. It only works against you if you never had the ingredient in the first place. Like Santina, right? Y'all go check Santina's channel out, right? Uh you when she was cooking the other day, right? And she's like, wait, I got all the ingredients, but now I gotta learn how to cook this, right? Not learn. She had the heat on high and it was cooked, but it wasn't cooked to her liking. So what did she do? She adjusted the temperature and did another a batch of chicken because that chicken sure did look good, right? Shout out to the chef for the nine, one of the chefs of the nine, right? And when she cooked the second batch, uh, Chicky will understand this. Chicky, you remember when you used to go to the Chinese restaurant and you see that heavy, crispy chicken that the Chinese restaurant would have, and you know once you bite it, that crunch is just like rum, right? And you that's what her second batch came out as, right? I was saying to myself, because I'm from New York, and I'm like, yo, that swear that looked like a Chinese restaurant piece of chicken. Yo, cut those up, give me some French fries or some chicken fried rice or something to that nature, right? But the point is, she made the adjustment for the food to be exactly what she wanted. We do that a lot as being a friend to somebody, right? It should not matter how the person how the person received it. They should understand that the friendship is well done. It's done because I'm putting all of my efforts and energy into becoming the friend that I need to be, right? Uh, you can't I can't worry about if somebody is going to misuse the friendship or abuse the friendship, right? Because if I do that, it is taking substance away from me, right? And on and in real life, people have turned to me and asked for advice, and I've given it to them, and you know they only call you when they're going through something. They only speak to you when their chips are down, right? But being a friend doesn't mean you get to abuse the privilege of the friendship. You don't get to abuse my friendliness. You don't get to abuse my demeanor and just call me when you want. Friendship is a two-way street. Just because love is a two-way street, right? The platonic love, the the love of a friend, it should be given as well as taken. If you don't have that circulation of love, it cannot be received. Now, I'm a person that will give you my all. I give you the agape love in a friendship. You do all that, yeah, because everything that I try to do with genuineness, right? If I do something half baked, half step, I'm going to get a half baked or half step result. Yeah, you gotta let them know, and that's the thing that we do. We let you know by our actions that you know, I want to be that friend to you. You may sometimes we may go above and beyond in a situation, and that wakes somebody that sets somebody alarm off, right? Oh, I got one. They're gonna do whatever I ask them, or oh, I don't like him or her because they too friendly for me. They're gonna do too much and make me look bad, all because you're trying to be a friend, right? The completion from being friendly to being a friend is a necessity because it solidifies the character that you are trying to allow people to display in uh, your everyday life, right? And because of that, people will weaponize it. People will, I got an idea. I'm gonna use this person for A, B, and C, and then that, right? I have been the person that have allowed a friend to stay over. I have been the recipient of being the friend that needed a place to stay at a particular point in my life, right? We have We have those situations, we have those scenarios to where being the friend can elevate into a greatness that no one can come separate or break apart, right? The Bible says this. The Bible says no greater love than this will a man lay down his life for a friend, right? If you lay down your life for a friend, it's you only could do that with that agape love, right? You only could do that because the love that you have in yourself will supersede any anything that friend can give you in return, right? Often you guys hear me say, if you need somebody to talk to, I am available for you to have the conversation, right? That's a part of me showing that my friendship, my authenticity of a friendship, my penmanship of a friendship is so unique that even if you call on me and tell me what the situation is, I will be there. And there have been people that have put that challenge into use, and only they can tell you how the effect or what's the end result of that friendship, right? We have to stop being loose with the terms being a friend. We have to understand that friends do not put quote unquote friends in harm's way. You know, it's okay to have like, or shout out to the word. He was talking yesterday about, a competitive, friendly competition, right? That's, being a friend in competition, it allows you to learn from somebody. It helps you elevate your thought process. It helps you add to a gift that you may have, right? Like when I think about Santina, I think about Tay, right? Because they both do the same thing, right? But I think Santina elevates Tay as far as their craft of, mukbang, and I believe that Tay elevates Santina. The friendly competition that look, it's not even a competition. The fact that they have the same craft, they build amongst each other, right? Now we can't say who food is better because you know one one cooks with actual meats and things like that, and one cooks as a vegan. So we can't challenge who's is better. Well, they can't challenge themselves. But if they ask somebody and say, you know what, y'all both cook very well, but if y'all both add a pinch of cayenne pepper to your meals, it'll taste the same. And they probably would do it and probably try to find some other way to elevate the taste of their food, right? But saying all that, you know, I don't want to get hit with friendly fire. You know, if you go to war, shout out to Word again, as he was talking about, 2025 is the year of war. I say it's a year of completion, right? Because it means the both of those, right? But when you really look at it, right, there are people that goes into combat. You're supposed to be allies. Ally is another word of friend, right? But in that situation, you may not get the chance to know somebody, but you should, because if I got your back and you got mine, we should know what our likes is, what our dislikes is, right? Otherwise, if we don't know each other's movement, you get caught in what? Excuse me, friendly fire. Friendly fire is when someone is wounded or even knocked off because someone on your team is now he or she took the shot that got you injured, right? So uh when that occurs, okay, right. So when that happens, right, Squawk. Now you know you have we going back to back. So somebody goes at you, I gotta understand what the angle is. How do I approach that without congratulations, Riaz, right? And then I have to know what the angle is, so that way I don't harm you and get the results of neutralizing the threat and keep the title of being a friend to you. Being a friend also is you get to check somebody when they're wrong, right? It's not a one side, it's not a friendship if I don't get to check you or you don't get to check me. Like if somebody say, Gary, what you're talking about is absolutely wrong. I can't fly off the handle and get upset with it. All right, you tell me what's wrong with it so you can now help me restructure the conversation so I can put it out there to where it is right. It makes sense. Not about me being right or me being, me making sense. The goal is to be the friend to a person. Now, if I'm telling you something wrong, I need to be checked, right? Somebody needs to say, Gary, what you were saying, it wasn't accurate enough because you could be a friend and punch them in the face. I don't punch my friends in the face, right? Uh I don't I don't I don't kick my friends when they're down. I don't wish ill on my friends. I don't disassociate myself from people because they did something wrong. You give them the grace and the room to try to fix their wrongs, improve their wrongs, and make it right. Right? I have like it's it's been times where people ask, how many people have friends from 20 years ago, 30 years ago? Yes, you can outgrow people, but the friendship is not it's not deteriorated because it went bad. It deteriorated because time outgrew you guys, right? And because of that, that don't mean that nobody did something wrong in the friendship. We both elevated. I'm not the same friend that I was in kindergarten 40 40 years later, right? 35 years later, 30 years later. I'm not the same person, right? Because in time you get to grow. And your friendships are supposed to grow in that matter, right? Chicky, if people could take constructive criticism and not feel like it was a harmful thing, it'll help them grow. But because you can't be constructive because there's so many defensive people, that has ruined more friendships than anything in in today's society, in my opinion. What do I mean, right? If Chicky says, you know what, Gary, I think you should I think you should talk more about spirituality, and I'm like, nah, I think I need to talk about just everyday situations because people don't have that spirituality. Chicky should not be upset that I didn't follow the advice because the advice is still out there. Maybe, who knows? Maybe down the line, I will follow that piece of advice. But understanding that somebody's constructive criticism is not a form of not being a friend. Is to try to it may help me down the line, but because we live in the microwave society, we skip the process of becoming a friend. We just want people's friendliness. We incomplete the the friend the building of a friendship, the building of a friend, and it's because some people just want to use the friendliness and work it to their own benefits. All right, well, I know he's going to be friendly or she's going to be friendly. Let me reach out to them, right? We have to understand if people are putting their foot into the friendship, they trying to make it as pleasing as possible, as applicable as possible, all because they want this thing to work. You, I know a lot of us here have probably done this so many times. They're like, you know what? It ain't worth it, right? I know on here people say, it upsets me because people don't think this is real life, but it is real life because you are real and I am real, right? Like there's been a few times I've reached out to people on from this app and they have, you know, given me some constructive criticism. They have given me some sound advice and I have applied it, right? And vice versa. So you can't say that this is not real. Friendships are real. It's a real aspect into life. You have to understand that if you don't have a friend, you're gonna be on an island by yourself. You might as well call yourself Gilligan, and people are just gonna come and go from your life, and they're gonna leave that very island you on, all because you feel like you stranded, but everybody's coming in and out of your life. How does that work? It can't work that way if you do the things that you are supposed to do in the role that is given to you. I play whatever role that people give me in their life, right? But you got to understand what role you give me. I'm going to play it to the best of my ability. Sometimes I do too much. I will admit that. I have no problem admitting that. But it's because of the genuineness of who I am. You know what I mean? If word asks me to do something, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. Sometimes I may do too much. Excuse me. BDB, what up, man? How you feeling? How you living? Sometimes I may do it, you know, because it's not to please you. It's just to show you how much I appreciate you in the term of the friendship. Sometimes you could turn that friendship into a brotherhood or a sisterhood, right? Sometimes, I know that I believe in friends before lovers, so it can elevate to that matter. But the fact is, without the friendship, it can't. You're not even getting past the friendliness. All of that has to connect. You have to complete the process from being friendly to becoming a friend, or if you want to call it befriending, that's what it is too. You have to make those process. There's a order of operation, just like math. A lot of us took math in class in school, right? Y'all remember what PEMDAS is, right? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That means you have to complete the process in that format, right? If multiplication and division is in the problem, you got to go from left to right to make sure that that answer is correct. So too must you do that in a friendship. You have to go through those steps in order to make it happen. If you started off friendly, that means you wanted to become that means you can be a friend to somebody, right? Being in the nine, right? I was friendly before I got into it. I would say certain things, as I still do to this day. Anybody that's in the 9%, I greet you, and I greet you in this exact form and matter. Uh, good, good day to the host, the mods, the chat, and the 9%. That's how I began my operation of friendliness. I still do it to this day. Anybody in the nine will tell you. If I don't come in there with that attribute, there's something wrong with me. You good? Are you all right? You a little bit off. What happened? Things of that nature, right? And vice versa. If I hear somebody having a conversation, if I hear a word and he come up there and he ain't saying what up though, it's something. Yo, what's wrong? What you talking about? You ain't even greet the people. What up though? Right? That's his introduction into the friend in the friend zone that he graciously allowed people to be in, not the friend zone to where you don't want to be in a relationship with the individual. Well, yeah, that's what a friend zone is, but y'all know what I'm saying. Not that friend zone that girls put guys in and guys put girls in. But the fact of the matter is that's how he introduces himself. That's how he starts his show. And if he doesn't start his show like that, is a question. Is all right. Are you just trying to get straight to the point, or is there something wrong? You pick up when people are down because that's what friends do. You take the time to observe your friend. to where I'm not going to be a hindrance but a help to them, right? But that all starts from the process of being friendly, right? When you are friendly to a person, you started observing them right then and right there, right? And even if somebody sees your friendliness, are exerting you right then and right there. You can be that friend that I need. Hey, I might lean on you a little bit more. So now you're more than just a friend. You can be my bestie or whatever, my confidant, my right hand man. Some people take it to the point to, like I said earlier, you become their brother or their sister. And those are the things that we have to, understand. We have to complete the process of making the friendliness connect to the friendship. I know there's people that don't want to be a friend, but they only want to use you for their friendliness or your friendliness. It's okay, but don't let that deter you from being who you are, who you're supposed to be, right? I can give my friend my very last dollar. You know why? Because I know how to go out there and get what I need to get back that dollar, right? I could go ahead and give I can go ahead and give my friend, the food that they need if they don't have it, right? Why? Because I have an abundance of a gift. And if being a friend is a gift, I know I have abundance of that. I know I have all the attributes of being a friend, right? I've done it before, right? Shout out to my cousin, Miss Coco BX, right? She would be the one out there being in the community, helping the people in the community, right? How does she do that? Because she has the abundance of giving, right? That's what friends do. They give when they, especially when they have an abundance of it. What is the point of having wisdom and understanding and keeping it to yourself? That's why I know greater love is to be a friend, right? To be a friend, you will be willing to do any and everything for that friend. It helps that friendship elevate, rise into a brother sister thing, right? We heard Word have the conversation about how he feels about Tay to become a brother sister relationship because they understand that their friendship has risen to that level, right? If we all can be like that, instead of being on the defensive because we have been hurt so many times, we can appreciate the friendliness of the friend that's right in front of you. I'm not here to compete with nobody, right? Now, if we playing a game that's we have a competition, that's something different. But even in that, you're doing it with friendliness, right? Like shout out to Mr. 33, right? All year, all football season, Mr. 33 would have, picks. He would place the games on his community wall and say, you know what? Let's see how well we know this sport, right? You pick the teams that you think is going to win. And at the end, the results are the results. If I win, I win. I know one time Warwick went perfect the whole week. He didn't pick a wrong game at all. Right? Thank you, Squad. He didn't pick a game wrong. There's no need to be upset about it. Okay. I'm like, okay, my guy, you picked it up. Shout out to Commander. She's not here today. But even in the in the aspect of being a friend, she was picking games and she don't even watch the sport. Shout out to Realist because he do the same thing. Uh, 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 Lady Shay, she was doing the same thing. All to show that what we're gonna help you elevate yourself. That's what friends do. We elevate each other. We're not here to put the anchor on your foot and throw you in the river. We ain't trying to off nobody. All because of the aspect that we're trying to complete the link from being friendly to becoming a friend. Okay, Santina, I'll see you at 2 then. Y'all go ahead and check Santina out. this afternoon at 2. Shout out to Scorp for putting the links down, right? Uh, she, when she, like I said, when she cooks, y'all. Like I said, I was with her the other day. Look, even with that, right? I'm in her live, and we're talking about, how long should you have the chicken on, right? And we're discussing because she's cooking and I'm cooking, and I'm like, yeah, you gotta, it's not like you got the little wingette, so you got to give it time to prepare, right? So she puts it in. I'm like, okay, Santina, we say it's about 15 minutes to keep the chicken in the fryer. So if it's 2:55, make sure you take it out at 3:10, right? That's me contributing to the friendship. That's me helping my nine sister to show that she know exactly what she's doing, right? Should I make the batter even more, add this ingredient to the batter, or should I just wait and hold off and leave the batter for another day? Whatever it is, right? That's what friendships are for, right? You know, y'all know the song Dionne Warwick said, "For good times and bad times, I'll be at your side forevermore." That's what a friend is for. I ain't sound like a y'all don't worry about that. But that's what we need going forward. We have to complete the process, right? You are friendly to become a friend, and if it elevates to something greater, then may God bless it, right? May God add value to the friendship, right? And that's how we are. That's how I am, right? BDB. BDB was playing the game. All right, yo, hey, Gary, I need your help. I need to understand how to play the game. Okay, I'm explaining the game. All right, you make the L form for the knight for you because you don't know what a knight is, the horse, right? You use the bishops, it goes diagonally, one way or the other. They can't be on the same line. The queen gets to move wherever it goes, right? You do that because you want to see the best version of somebody. And when you want the best version for somebody, that's how you elevate from being friendly to becoming a friend. You have to understand just a little bit of you, right? Can add to a friendship, right? It can elevate that friendliness to a friendship, right? See you later, Santina, right? The Bible says, faith the size of a mustard seed. So if you have a friendship the size of a mustard seed, or you have that gift of being a friend and it's that small, if you put it in the right place, it'll grow into something greater. But because everybody can't take the constructive criticism, right? Everybody don't have that process of each one teach one. They just only want to use what they get. They don't want to pour back into somebody, right? That's not a friend, right? A friend is going to take and replenish. They're going to add and not subtract. They're not going to they're not just going to divide you up into certain pieces. They're going to allow you to multiply. And it's okay if you multiply it to somebody else's life because your friendship should be solidified in the addition of people that may come into the next person's life. I can't get mad if Chicky makes a new friend and somebody that quote unquote is not is not a friend to me. Maybe it's my job to understand what Chicky sees in that person and understand why they are friends, right? Or maybe it's up to me to find out, can I elevate in that level to add to an already good friendship, right? It's not about us when we become friends. Being a friend is a selfless act, right? It's like being Christ, like you are selfless. And all of these things must occur in order for you to grow. And these are the ingredients that makes a friendship incomplete. These are the things that makes you a quote unquote somebody I know instead of being a friend. I try my best to add to people situations, especially when I like coming on here. I would hit a lot of, people ask me to come up there and have a conversation. I'll have a conversation, right? But now If I'm not needed, it doesn't mean I get the right to be upset because I'm not needed. I'd rather you grow and flourish in your growth than hinder you and stop the flow of you getting the growth that you need, that sunlight that you need, or that water that runs in your roots. I'm not here to stop all of that. I'm here to add to it if I can. And it may not be the role that I once had. But when you have that main ingredient of love in the friendship, you can watch it flourish. You can watch somebody grow. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't have no malice to no, towards nobody, and that may be a fault to a lot of people. But the fact is, when you add love to a friendship, even if they're not your friend, you can allow them to be let go from your life. It hurts, of course, because nobody wants to lose, but somebody is gaining a better version of the person that's leaving you because you have added into their life. That's the thing that we try to do, as 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 a group in the 9%, right? If if we can help you become a better version of yourself, if you here for the season, so be it. If you here for the long haul, that's what's up, right? And so we have to continuously put the work in, right? But in order to complete that role of being a friend, you must connect all the dots. You must dot the I's and cross the T's. Selena, how you feeling? Good. Oh, good afternoon, right? And those are the things that we need the completion of friendships to be, right? Just don't take my friendliness and weaponize it for the betterment of yourself. Accept all of it, right? Accept that I'm trying to be your friend. Don't weaponize it just to use a portion of me and try to cast me aside. One is not going to work, and two, to be honest, there's no shade on nobody. It's your loss, right? Because if you know I'm trying to add value to people and you don't want to accept what I bring to the table, it's okay for me, right? But that don't mean I dislike you. It doesn't mean that I don't want you to prosper. It doesn't mean I don't want you to grow. It just means that you're I'm not your cup of tea. I'm not the friend. Uh, I'm not the friend that you want me to be, right? If you truly understand that, then like I said, you could watch that person that disassociated yourself from you to grow, right? There's people that have me blocked right now. I still support them. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't care what I did wrong. But I only thing I have in this world is my word. And if I say I'm gonna help you to grow something, I'm going to help you to grow. If I said I'm gonna help you to improve a thing, that's what I'm going to do. It doesn't matter why he blocked me, she blocked me, they blocked me. It doesn't matter about none of that. It just matters that I keep my word throughout it all. Does it benefit me if it heaps coals on their head because I kept my word? It don't benefit me. It just, well, it do benefit you because you're keeping your word of being a friend to a person, even if somebody. No, no, no. Yeah, they did, but I really don't care. I don't even know why though. But that's the thing, right? But it allows me to keep my persona, my attribute of being a friend. It keeps it where it belongs, right? Because only thing I have is my word. And if I said I'm going to be a friend to you, I will be a friend to you, right? It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't, because only thing I can do is be the best version of myself, right? So I cannot go through a process without completing it. So I could be friendly all I want. If I'm not going to be a friend, there's no need for me to be friendly. No, it's all right. I mean, it don't even matter, right? Because I understand where I'm not wanted on one side of the field, there's somebody on the other side that's going to want me. I'm not going to say need because everybody do, even though everybody needs a friend, I may not be that friend for them. But if I can start the process for them to understand what a friend is or what they do, then that's what it is, right? I understand that there's a season for people as well, right? I may be in the season of beginning. I may be in the season of long haul. I may be the intermediate season. Whatever it is, I have to do. I have to fulfill the role that's been given to me, right? And that's a lot of times that's what happens on this app. But if I fulfill a role, does that make me more or less of a friend? Right? Because there's so many people thinking that you can't build a friendship on this app because there's so much trauma bonding and all of that. When all you can do, like say a prayer for somebody, that's letting you know I'm thinking about you. I'm worried about you. I want the best for you. Right? That's my friendliness extending the olive branch to becoming a friend. If you accept it, you accept it. If you don't, you don't. But what you can't say is that completion of friendliness to friend was never offered to you, right? Uh, and that's just the bottom line. So nobody can say that you don't that nobody never wanted to be your friend. Excuse me. Nobody offered the arm of friendship to you, right? But in order for that to be completed, the friendship must be attached to the friendliness that you have had from the beginning. It must grow on. It must elevate into something better. Right? If you're in a relationship, right? If you meet a guy, are you just dating for the meantime or are you dating for the long haul? And if you're dating for the meantime because it's only a satisfaction thing, right? When you dating for the long haul, you must take those steps. You start dating, then you become uh, uh, monogamous. A lot of the time, intimacy plays a role, not sexually, but the intimacy of becoming one as far as the relationship. All of those steps must take place in order for you to reach the greater goal, if that's what you're trying to reach, which would be marriage, right? In order for me to be a best friend to a guy, I had to take those steps. All right, you told me your problem. Oh, you told me a serious problem. Sometimes you might tell me a deep dark secret. I have to do my part to hold on to it to where it's kept where it's need to be kept. Because if it does come out what I want, it didn't come from me. So now, okay, I can trust Gary now. Gary held that down because I told him this thing, and from what I understand, he didn't tell nobody else. I haven't heard it from anybody else that he knows, right? So now I say, you know what? I have a friend in him, right? So you have to go through those processes of allowing the friendliness to develop into the friend that you truly need. But just because you're a friend, there's still room for growth, right? I don't want to be an associate. I want to be a friend. An associate is somebody you just talk to passing through, right? I want to be the friend that every time you see me, hey, how are you doing? Oh my gosh, how is things on your side of YouTube? You know, how is your brother in YouTube? How is your sister in YouTube? Things of that nature. In order for me to get to the ultimate goal to build a community, right? You must have that confidence in the person that's trying to join the community, right? If Chicky tells me, you know what, I'm so mad at the Miami Hurricanes. I mean, she had already said that. So it's not like I'm saying something that she told me in confidence, right? But if she did tell me something in confidence and she didn't hear me allow it to come out, then she understands that I am working to be her friend. right? If Riaz tell me something in confidence, right, and I don't regurgitate it to nobody else, or I don't speak it out to anybody else, he now understands that I want to be his friend because he has, even in a friendship, trust is the key to it too. But if you don't have love, trust don't, you can't have a loving relationship without trust, and you can't trust somebody without love, right? Or allowing it to extend into a form of love. That's why I'm saying a lot of these friendships are incomplete because we are missing processes. We skip the process of a thing becoming what it needs to be in totality, right? If I'm going to be somebody's friend, I need to be their friend in totality. And there are people that are out there to test you, right? I know I'm a pass the test because the goal is to be the friend. What up, Nine? Tell you what's going on, right? If I do the things to where I keep building on what you have allowed me to construct on, the friendship becomes solid. It becomes to a point to where, you know what, I can call Gary my friend. Why? Because I told him that I don't know how to tie my shoe, and I never heard him say, you know what, this grown person don't know how to tie their shoe, or mock them or whatever. He just kept it where it's at, and kept it going. He checks on me all the time. Hey, how you doing? You good? All right. Hope all is well with you. Things of that form of fashion. That shows you that I'm trying to extend my friendliness and to complete it into a friendship. And if it grows into something beyond a friendship, then bless it. God bless it. And that's the thing that we have to understand. That the completion needs to be, you know, done, right? Don't allow nobody to intercept it, right? Don't allow nobody to manipulate it to make your right turn a wrong turn. You're making the right turn because you know that's the turn that you need to make in order to get to the destination. And a lot of us are so hellbound to disassociate with people that we make a U-turn instead of the right turn, right? Now we're going back from what we're getting further away from the destination of becoming a friend. And and that's the thing, y'all, right? And a lot of us, we do have our defenses up, right? But somewhere, shape or form, you have to you have to tear that wall down, right? Because everybody's not out to harm you. Everybody's not out to hurt you, right? There are people that really, truly, and genuinely care about you, right? And guess what? Some of us are deserving of having that type of friendship. You know what I'm saying? Some of us are worthy of having a friend in our life that we can trust. But if we only know about people hurting us from that position, you're going to do your best to not allow that person in the position again. But a lot of us have to do the self works. A lot of us has to do the trusting of a situation, right? You have to understand that my friendliness is exactly what it is. I want to be your friend. I want to show you that you have somebody in your corner. I'm not here to overstep the boundaries, even though sometimes like I said, I do it just to show you how much of a friend that I am willing to be, right? If you tell me to give you $1 and I give you 10, it's not to brag about it. I might be overstepping, get whatever you need, but some people might get insulted by that. So you have to understand what your position is and do it correctly. In time, that $10 will mean more because they know you that type of person that will go above and beyond. But you have to be careful because somebody may manipulate that situation at that same time. They may have the $10 and want your $10 to spend it just to keep theirs. It's all about your observation, right? It's all that comes a part of the completion of friendly to friendships. You have to understand that you have to be observant because everybody may not deserve that type of person. There's a lot of times some people may not deserve you, right? You can't overextend your hand if people are not willing to take it. And if you do overextend it, you have to be aware that somebody may be able to abuse what you're giving them. So we have to, it's a working process, right? All relationships are a working process. That includes friendship. So we have to be able to we have to understand that, some people are not really for us but against us, but that should not take away from who you are as the individual that wants to complete the process from being friendly to a friend. Link it together and become the best version of the friend that you feel that you can be in somebody's life, and allow them to assess, well, you are a good friend. Now I can make you my best friend, or my brother or my sister, or I can add you to my family. Because for a lot of people, that's the ultimate goal, to be considered family, because nobody is meant to be out here by themselves. If just because you're born alone and you die alone, you should not go through life alone. There's too many people for you to go through life alone. But what a blessing it is to be considered a friend, right? I hold that in high regards. I'm different, right? Because I hold a lot of things that I do in high regard, right? If I'm a friend, I'm a friend. If you consider me a brother, I'm gonna be the brother. You know, if I'm nephew, I'm nephew. To my cougar mama, she may look at me as her son. I'm gonna play that role. You know what I'm saying? But that's the role that, it takes work. There's a comfort zone that needs to be inflicted or added to the situation, right? You do your best, God will make it work all the way through. God will do the rest. And that's what we need to do going forward. As long as we're doing our best, uh, that's the end goal. That's the result. You know what I'm saying? And that's the goal that we need to do. We need to have the completion of a thing in order for us to be the best friend that we can be. Not the best friend like the bestie, but the best friend. As you know, I like talking to you because you like to listen, and you allow me to hear whether I'm right or wrong, or add to my right and check me if I'm wrong. It's like Chicky said earlier, you here to be constructive and not destructive. That's what a friend is. If we're going to tear something down, if I'm tearing you down, now it's my job to help build you back up. That's what a friend does, right? I don't know if I can't call you a friend if you just tear me down. You're not a friend, you're a rival, you're an enemy, right? But if you say, hey, let's make a new foundation for this friendship, we are in agreement that we're trying to build said friendship. And those are the things that we have to constantly put on display, and not be worried about if we're being put in harm's way, because at the end of the day, all of us are in harm's way, right? All of us can be hurt because somebody is manipulating us in the fashion of just using us for the good, and not and just taking and not giving. We all will go through life like that, right? There will be people that will try that. Yet for the most part, I can't allow that minority one to outrank the other nine that I grew a friendship with. That's the way I grow the friendship. I can't let that one manipulate or take or tear down how I become a friend with somebody. I can't, and I won't, because that's me completing my role from being friendly to becoming a friend. And that's the way I do it. I don't know if it works for everybody. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But if you try it and it works, you say, hey, it works. And if you try and if it doesn't work, hey, I tried your way, it don't work. I'm good with that. Right? That's all we can do coming on this app, hitting live or go live and having a conversation. is if you apply it and it doesn't work, that you tried, right? But what you can do, you take the things that work from you, from said advice, said information, and apply it and say, you know what? It did work. And then even then, because it worked, all right, I took another avenue, but I took all your stuff. Like I said, Tay's here. If I say, Tay, if you add a little bit of if you add a little bit of salt to to your taco, it tastes a little bit better. And she applies it and it works. You know what? Thank you, Gary, because you said that might help. And if it worked, oh, that's too salty. I can't do that. But you tried it. So if you ignore the advice, you're not, it's kind of disrespectful and it does hurt a friendship. But you know, you can be respectful and turning down a situation as well. But that also shows that your friendliness is available to becoming a friend, even if it's not sound advice for you. So you have to have the understanding. And like I said earlier, I know a lot of us have been hurt because people say they're friends, but you can't let that one situation be, hinder the other situations that may come after that. But more importantly, it should not affect what has happened before us. And a lot of us, we do take it to that point to where it hurts situations instead of helping. But I truly appreciate you guys coming through. I catching myself sounding repetitive. So when I sound repetitive, that's time for me to step off the conversation. But I truly appreciate everybody coming through. Well, yeah, I appreciate everybody coming through, listening to me. Uh, you know, I just want people to understand that, if we are going to do this, let's do this the right way. Let's do it in a way to where, you know we're we're blocking a process of becoming a friend, and you know or we're doing the best to abuse the friendliness and not accepting the friendship, because it takes it takes effort. It takes time to become friendly. Like, it may seem natural to a lot of people. Oh, that's just the way he is. So if that's the way he is, or that's the way she is, don't try to manipulate it. Don't try to take that kindness for a weakness. Either embrace it or let it go. Either help them to improve or step away from them. Right? But it's all up to the individuals. But in order to for any good friendship, the completion from friendliness to a friend, it must be completed. So, like I said, I thank you guys for coming through, listening. If I sounded long winded, I apologize. But that's just, the way that the best way for me to, simplify the message is, having the conversation. I hope that it helped somebody. I hope it resonated with somebody, you know. But, if you see something wrong, if you try to fix it, you can say you try. If you add to it, you added to it. If not, you're not. If you didn't, then you didn't. But you definitely, it's worth the effort of trying. That matters the most. And so that's what I did today. No problem. No problem. I know there's people, like, even with that, right? Even with, the mods thing, I know people make a big deal out of it. Uh, but that's to show that, hey, I believe, or I know that you are here to help and not hurt. So I appreciate you guys, coming through, right? Once again, let us complete the process of becoming friendly, from becoming friendly to becoming a friend. Let's make that work, all right? If it works, it works. But, you know, we have to try it in order to see if it's going to work or not. So with that being said, y'all, I'll catch y'all on another live sometime soon. Until then, I'm out. Thank you guys for stopping by.